Okay. On our agenda today, we have an amendment talking about renewal of the community-based alternative services agreement, and also Prosecutor Steve Herzog canceled. So.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the amended agenda as discussed.
A motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
First item on our agenda is an ambulance.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we go into the Board of Ambulance.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we have a chance to look it over. Any questions?
Usual stuff.
Call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the invoices for the Board of Ambulance and exit the Board of Ambulance.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next we have commissioners' invoices, salary rate approval forms, Independence Day vendors. I just had a couple of questions. One for you more, Ryan. GMC 3500 crew cab, $2,500 in repairs. What was?
I'd have to double check. I think it was an accident Jeff Underwood had before he left.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
department it's out of. Okay. And then Christie, we have potty mix flowers, potty mix trees, and landscaping supplies out of Road and Bridge.
They always landscape their front.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if we'd damaged somebody else's and stuff. That's what
My
was.
guess is it's just making the outside a little more cosmetic.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the invoices as presented.
A motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next we have salary rate approval forms. There's only one question. The proposed start date, you initialed it or somebody initialed it here for May 24th for security up at the,
Let me see.
it was just the early start date that I,
Oh, that's
the next one in.
Alicia's. Oh, the next page. That's Alicia's. It was probably because they didn't put a start date, so she had to put one on there. So she just initialed that she's the one that wrote it on there.
Okay.
That was, and that was May 24th. That was them trying to get a couple of last minute people in for the concert.
Yeah.
That's a great date.
And we talked about it on that Thursday a little bit.
Yes.
But I,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did have the orientation on the Friday. That was just a last minute one that they were able to get hired before the concert.
And that's,
And with the turnout, they needed everyone they had.
they did a great job. I mean, that's, I just noticed an initial there and an earlier
Yeah.
pay
Yeah,
start date.
but we had kind of talked about it, so.
Yeah. So.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the salary rate approval forms as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And next we have a couple of contracts for 4th of July celebration. We'll have apples and tacos anyway.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the contracts as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we have payroll, and then we also have the final report for which pay period? Check date 6/1. Okay. Any comment on them questions? Motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the payroll report. And what was the other one?
They're both actually
Yeah,
different
okay.
payroll reports.
As presented.
This one's summary finalization report.
Oh, that is task. That's actually our year-end settlement on our task. So we paid it through payroll, but we wanted you to know that that was the year-end reconciliation.
Okay. All right, Daniel, you're up.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Kendall, Facilities Director.
Danny Whitworth, Assistant Operations.
We have our monthly update for you today. The Safety Center has been our focus. We're on schedule and excited to get that wrapped up this month. But I think we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're excited. Room 218, the courtroom, we've kind of put that on hold until we get the Safety Assessment Center complete. What the woodwork is here and ready to be put on as soon as we get some time. We'll get back on that and get that wrapped up. As far as maintenance items, we're still doing some air conditioning replacements, but nothing major to report on anything breaking down, so I think everything's going really well. And Whitworth's doing a good job of the little things that pop up. He's getting them taken care of so I can stay over there at the Safety Center. So it's going well. And then we have a position open. We haven't got a lot of interest, not as much as I had hoped, but I think there's some good ones in there to interview when we get a minute to stop and do that. But maybe I'll start reaching out a little bit more and advertising, see if we can get some more applications in. But we don't have a lot, but working on it. Ryan's doing a good job of recruiting some people in, and they do a good job helping me out. So that's what I got for you.
So we had conversations a week ago about the jail. Where are we at out there?
Oh yeah, so the jail, the engineering is complete. They got the bids, so they took the engineer drawings, they got the updated bids from the contractors and turned it in to the insurance. So as soon as they give the approval on the amounts, then they're going.
So we're waiting on iCrimp right now?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. They wanted a couple of days to go over those updated bids, and Star says as soon as they get the go, they're going. We'll start the dirt work. So the process would be replace the dirt and pour new concrete, and then let that concrete cure for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, so they can drive equipment up in that room. They don't want that floor cracking back out, so they'll give it time to cure, which is actually a good thing because the lead times for ordering that equipment is, a few months out. So, but yeah, the last meeting that we had was a positive one.
It went better?
Yeah, it went
Good.
better. And having that engineering was the key. So, yeah, I'm excited to get that going.
Good.
Yeah.
What's the estimated completion date?
I don't think we could really say just because the lead times on that equipment are so far out. There's some that the boilers are, 22 weeks out. So if I gave you a date, I don't want to guess, but really, I hope that they put a little padding on that time and it's not really that long.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be. That's what they put on the bid.
Okay.
Yep.
And we did upgrade some of that equipment that the county's gonna have to front, right?
Yeah. It wasn't a big difference.
Well, that might run into next fiscal year if we're out that far. So, is there any way to get, because I really haven't seen those numbers, is there any way to see what the insurance is gonna pay versus what the county's gonna have to pay, so that we can anticipate that, and then if we need to throw it into next year's budget, we can.
Yeah, I think you missed that meeting. I think we have those numbers for you. It
Okay.
wasn't a big number.
Okay.
But we'll get that to you.
Yeah, I can help get that.
Okay.
Okay, even if it's a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
rather have it, I'd rather be prepared to budget for it than
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
find money, because I think we have money this year, but maybe not next year.
Also, did you give us an update on yesterday's kickoff meeting?
I can't.
Oh.
I was up on the mountain.
Oh,
How did it go?
I don't know. I wasn't there either.
Oh.
That's why I'm asking you. Shannon will be here. We'll let
Oh,
her
okay.
update us then.
Okay.
Okay.
Took a group of graduating seniors up on a mountain and spent some time with them. And
Good for you.
yeah, it was a good hike.
Wow.
How much kickoff meeting you talking about?
The design team for the
Okay.
forensic pathology.
I let Shannon know that it wasn't, she said I was excused, so I was hoping
Yeah, I
that.
forgot. She
Okay.
told me that.
Okay.
So, good.
Okay.
All
Anything
right,
else I can offer you?
upward and onward.
Okay, we'll get
Looking
back to
forward
work.
to the safe team then.
Heck yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Very excited.
Yeah, let's pave that parking lot next, or I guess seal the parking lot next week, and it's really gonna start looking like something.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
You
thank
still getting a lot of people, other people parking in the parking lot?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that coned off and, so they can seal it and stripe it, and then we'll just leave it coned off until we move in. It's turned into a car wash, equipment parking area, so we'll
Yeah.
get that taken care of when it gets cleaned up. We don't want them on it when it gets pretty.
No, we don't.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Scott isn't here yet. Christie?
I have a favor. Can I wait till Scott comes?
That's why we're waiting on his stuff. Okay. Prosecuting attorney canceled. All right. All right, juvenile justice.
Matt.
Good morning, Matt Olson, Director of Bannock County Juvenile Justice. I think we have two items today that I wanted to cover with the Commission. The first is the Community-Based Alternative Services MOU with the Department of Juvenile Corrections. This is a MOU that we renew every 3 years with the Department of Juvenile Corrections, and this allows us access to funding that the Department of Juvenile Corrections provides for very specific things. Specifically, we use the funding for what's called the Substance Abuse Delivery Services Program. So that allows us to pay for substance abuse treatment for kids who don't have Medicaid or kids who need residential substance abuse treatment. It also allows us to pay for the required GAIN-I or comprehensive diagnostic assessments if kids don't have Medicaid. So we get about $125,000 a year in SUDS funding. And the majority of that funding is spent on residential treatment for kids. Right now, Medicaid does not cover that, and families can't afford that. Most families that need it don't have insurance, so we utilize a lot of that funding for residential substance abuse treatment. The second funding pot we use a lot for is for treatment for youth with a sex offense who have had a juvenile sexual evaluation, and it's been determined that they need sex offense-specific treatment. Right now, we utilize a provider out of Twin Falls because we don't have a local provider. You know, our expense there for the treatment plus polygraphs can range between $4,500 to $6,000 a year, just depending on circumstances. And so we don't have that in our budget, but we do access those funds through the CBAS to be able to pay for those services for families. So that is the first item I'm requesting review and hopefully signature.
Questions?
No, I appreciate the work on this stuff, so. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the MOU as presented and discussed.
Have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nancy for a signature.
All right, the second item I have has to do with lease agreements for copiers. We currently lease 2 copiers from Valley Office Systems. One is in the Juvenile Justice Service Center, where most of our offices are in terms of the court, but we also have a copier that's over in our intensive services unit upstairs in the old jail, so that we can meet all of their needs in that unit. With the Safety and Assessment Center, we're going to need a third copier for the Safety and Assessment Center. Our current lease has expired. We've met with Valley Office Systems. They have been able to actually, right now, we're paying, I think, about $339 a month on our current lease for the 2 copiers. And we would be able to get that down to $274 a month for those 2 copiers under this proposed lease. We would then need to lease a third copier, and so there's a copy of that lease agreement. That would be $99 a month. So our expenses would increase to go to 2 copiers to 3, about $43 a month from where we currently sit. We've looked at what would it cost to potentially purchase those. To purchase the 3, it would cost about $15,000, and then if we wanted to have a license, a service agreement, and a maintenance agreement, it'd be about $149 a month. So I estimate about a $1,500 cost savings over the life of the lease agreement if we were to lease versus purchase, and then have a maintenance agreement on items that we purchased.
Well, the thing I thought was interesting, so you don't, are they just black and white or are they color?
The one in the Juvenile Justice Center is color. The other ones are black and white.
Okay. But the price for black and white is 8 cents for an additional copy, and if we go over our limit,
Right.
and then 6 cents for color, and it just didn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. It's a strange number. We have not gone over our copies, but we do use color from time to time, and we do have some increased expense when we do that.
And every time you use color, it will be in a charge.
Right. So,
Okay.
Is the Safe Team paying for their own? Is that part of some of the monies Top got?
well, right now I've put it into the trust budget for 2024. So, and
Okay, we'll talk about that during budget, because if he gets that grant,
mhm.
then we probably won't need it out of your trust.
I don't think he put this in the grant. I told him that we would be able to cover this, and that we could use those funds that he was going to use for this for a different service.
Okay.
So it only increased our expense by $43, and there was an additional service we felt would be beneficial from an assessment and treatment standpoint, and training standpoint. So
Okay.
I hope that's okay, but I'm
No,
happy to
yeah,
talk about
no,
it.
No, that's
So,
good, that's good. He just had that grant, and so I
Yeah.
thought, oh, well,
He-
that might cover most everything that we thought we would have to cover, so that's
Yeah.
perfect.
He originally had it in there, but when we looked at the other opportunities and ways to utilize that money, we felt like we could cover it through that trust.
Okay.
Okay,
Questions?
no, appreciate you
Motion.
going back and redoing that, doing that. So, Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve the copier agreements as presented.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're here for,
I'm here for the Fairgrounds building fee rental.
well, that's what I thought.